Well, hello, hello. Welcome, Facebook. So I am doing, I told you I would come on and I talked to you about a way that you can work with some limiting belief systems or maybe work with some stuff while the new moon is coming. So the new moon is coming on the 19th. So we're in an eclipse energy right now. And so the moon energy is energy that God gives us to help us through our life journey. So that's pretty awesome. So what I'm going to do before I begin is to make sure that I'm in a good place. And while I'm waiting for people to come on, is I'm going to go ahead and use the oils for my chakras and open those up and be in a good place. Hi, Kelly. How are you? I just saw you today. I hope you have a good day. I hope everything's going well. We had a great meeting. I enjoyed it very, very much. So today we're going to talk about, there's eclipse energy in the moon that is happening right now. And God gives us these energies so that we can work with them so that we can have an easier time on our journey. He gives us lots of gifts. Gifts in oils, gifts in friends, gifts with plants, gifts of the earth, gifts all over the place. And we just have to recognize all of the gifts that he is giving, or he, she, whoever God is giving us. So give me 1 second. I'm almost done. Okay, so now that I'm all prepared, I'm going to talk about these two oils today. First of all, I hope that you had a good night's sleep with cedarwood oil and that you use this oil if you have any. This is what we talked about yesterday. So hopefully that you're using that oil and that you got a chance to actually explore it. If not, you should get some. Hi, Kaylee. We talked about this oil yesterday. Kaylee, this would be a good one for you. It's cedarwood oil. It's a very calming oil. I think you'd like that one a lot. All right, so today we're going to kind of go back a little bit. We're going to talk about basil oil, but we're going to talk about something else. So we have this eclipse energy that just means that we have the moon, the same way that the moon moves the tide in and out in a process of renewal, so if you think about the ocean and there's trash, and it takes the trash out into the ocean. I hope it's not trash, but whatever it brings in, it brings out. There's this movement that happens with that. And the ocean gets a lot of its energy from the moon, is my understanding. So, and we are mostly made of water. So us too, and teachers know that when there's a full moon, that it's kind of crazy. Anybody who's been, who's around large groups of people, the emergency room staff, they all know that when there's a full moon, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be nutty, right? There's lots of energy that's happening. So how can you use this energy to help you? Well, I'm going to give you a tip. I'm going to give you this. So today's video is going to be about, using a technique that you can use today, right now, that you can use to actually help you with this energy and bringing in something new. So the new moon that's coming up is the new moon of renewal, is my understanding. And so the oil I chose for that is going to be basil, because basil is the oil of renewal. So it's also my understanding that is when you clean your any of your crystals or your stones or anything of that sort. So go ahead and put those out, let them get cleaned out so they can have more energy to bring in that can help you with those. So gather up all your crystals, put them all together and put them outside for the new moon. So my intention is to help you to go further into your journey. And I'll leave a link again for basil for those people who want to get basil in their life. And I always leave a link on getting a kit, because I believe that's the best place to start, because you get a full you get a full arsenal of oils that you can work with. And when I talk about oils, I'm only talking about doTERRA. And don't forget to send love, likes, and shares and all of those wonderful things so you can help other people on their journey as well. All right, so what we're going to talk about right now is this an exercise. So you're going to get a piece of paper, and you're going to do this before the new moon on the 19th. And what you want to do is you want to think about the 10 major themes themes that have feelings that you've had your entire life, that come up over and over and over again. And these are going to be feelings that they bother you. These are feelings that generally, or they can be actually good feelings. So like, I'll give you some examples. So you may have something that reoccurs in your life and it sounds something like this: no one is there for me. Or it could be a good thing, like I love feeling enthusiastic. I love feeling enthusiasm. So it could be that as well, because they could be like, I love feeling enthusiasm could, anyway, so that could be whatever the themes are. I chose mostly ones that I kind of want to release and let go. So once you have at least 10 of those, so what you want to do is think about times in your life where you go, oh, I'm dealing with this again. Oh, I'm dealing with this friendship again, or I'm dealing with this person again is now in my life again, or something of that sort. So you want to pick 10 reoccurring themes that keep coming up for you, and they sound like no one is there for me. Maybe it's I'm not good enough, or I have fear around having relationships with people, or maybe, you've had this feeling your whole life where you just don't feel very deserving, or maybe you feel guilty when you do really well in life. And maybe there's that theme of like, when you do well and you get recognized, then you feel guilty about it. Some people have that. Maybe you feel that you've had in your lifetime where people have been jealous of you, or people don't really see you for who you really are. So those are just some examples of some things that you can write down. What you want to do is, once you have 10 of those things, you want to go through each one of them and you want to answer these questions. And so here are the questions. The first question is this me? And so a lot of times when these feelings come up, it's like you have this, it's almost like you have a split you. You have like these feelings, or I'm sorry, you have you that you're living this logical life and you're doing pretty well in life. And then you have these feelings that are underlying underneath it. And sometimes you can catch those feelings and sometimes you can't. So see if you could try to catch those feelings. And what you want to do is you want to ask the one question is, so number one would be, is this me? Who am I when I'm feeling this way? What remains in me when I'm feeling the opposite of this? So when you start to feel the opposite of the feelings, let's take, there's no one there for me. Is this me? Well, you might say, well, no, I mean, it's not me right now. I mean, sometimes I do feel that way, but really it's not really me, because, my husband's there for me. My kids are there for me. My family's there for me. Something of that sort. And then you kind of just write through it. And then you say, okay, so what remains in me when I'm feeling the opposite? Well, when I'm feeling the opposite of that, no one's there for me, I feel like I'm really supported. And so when I feel really supported, what remains in me is that I feel happy, I feel free, I feel supported, those types of things, right? And then you can say, well, can I still be me if I don't have this thought? Well, I'd be more of me if I didn't have that thought. Right? I'd be the better part of me if I didn't have that thought that no one was there for me, right? And so number two is what if I no longer believe this thought? What if I no longer had the thought that came up in my mind, like, who would I be next? And so you can write about that. Well, if I no longer believe that no one was there for me, what would that do for me? Well, it would make me feel more secure inside. It would make me feel more open to meeting more people. It would make me feel, and so you just kind of write reasons why you would want, or how you would feel if you no longer believed that thought. And then, what do you have to drop in order to not have that thought anymore? So what are some things that you would disappear in your life if you no longer had that thought? Well, I wouldn't be as angry. I wouldn't be as apprehensive, those types of things. So I'd have to drop my anger. I'd have to drop my my fear of connection. I'd have to drop those things. And so what would change for me? What would change for me is maybe I'd have more people in my life at that time, because I'd feel more trusting, or I'd feel, and so you kind of just, so those are the questions. So I'll go over those are the first two. So the first one is like a group of questions. Is this me? Who am I when I'm feeling this way? What remains in me when I feel the opposite of this way? And can I still be me without this thought? That's all one group of questions. The second group of questions is, what if I no longer believe this thought? What do I have to drop? And what would change for me if I no longer believe that thought? That's another group of questions. The third group of questions is, this is a 4-step process. So we're on step 3 now. Step 3 is, am I willing to drop it? Sometimes people aren't really willing to drop that thought yet. They're not really ready to let it go. So you have to ask that question. Are you willing to let the thought go that no one is there for you? Are you willing to drop that thought? And if so, then drop it. Then agree to have the intention that that's no longer going to be part of your I couldn't think of the word, not vernacular, but your lexicon, right? No longer going to be a part of who I am. Okay. So then after you've done those and you've asked those questions of yourself, and it really doesn't take that long. I mean, seriously, it takes like maybe 10 minutes to do this exercise. What I did is I didn't really know what my thoughts were. And so I wrote a couple down that I kind of knew off the top of my head. And then I kind of just went on with my day. And it was within like 10, 15 minutes, I started to figure out the rest. Like I walked away and I started to interact with my family, and then thoughts came up, boom, I ran back to my office. I wrote them down. Oh, that's one. That's one I'd like to let go. I don't really like that thought, and then I go do more stuff, and then I come back and I go, oh, that one too. And I write that down. So then I finally got 10. When I got 10, then I went through and I did this exercise and I did all those questions, and write it down. Don't type it in the computer. Actually write it down. There's energy inside of your writing. So make sure that you write it down. All right. And then the last thing that you're going to do is you're going to take a glass bowl. And so like that, you're going to take, well, I keep mine so that I have them, but write them on a different piece of paper. So I think I wrote it on a paper like this. And then, because that's what I was going to use to release it. And when you're doing releasing, I don't have the oil here, but you can use the oil of thyme. Thyme oil is oil of releasing. So you could actually put that on. You're going to take a glass bowl. You're going to put those thoughts or those belief systems inside of the glass bowl. Go outside. You're going to light it on fire. And when you're done and it's all burned, then you're going to take water and you're going to put water in it, and water is the clearing of that. You get to see the transparency of your thought systems that you no longer want. And so the fluidity, and so the water represents the fluidity and the clarity and the cleansing of those thoughts, because you've already burned it. Now you're going to put water in it. Then you just get rid of the water, toss the rest. And then you celebrate the rest of the day, and you're going to use basil oil. Hold on real quick. Okay, you're going to use basil oil is the oil of renewal, and you'll actually use that on your body in order to help bring in the renewing energy of the moon. And so to accept that gift from God, because it is a gift from God. Sometimes when we pray, I was just talking to somebody about this earlier, sometimes when we pray, things happen fast and things don't happen fast, and it really depends on if it's the right thing for you, then it'll happen for you. But sometimes it's the right thing for you. Okay, if it's not the right thing, then it won't happen for you. It's got to be for your greatest good. And sometimes when we pray and it's the right thing for you, but you still don't have it, like you feel intently like that is the right thing for me, I don't understand why it's not happening for me. I'm sure God led me in this way, and so why am I not manifesting that? Why don't I have this in my life yet? I mean, it's been a while. I've been asking for this, and the reason why is because, one, we have to release old, and that's what you're doing here. You're going to release the old, and you're going to bring in the new. And springtime is a great time to do that. Everything is blooming, everything is in rebirth, everything is renewal. Jesus Christ was resurrected. I mean, there's so much wonderful energy around this time. So use it to your advantage. This is the time that we clean out our homes of things that no longer serve us, and then we go take them and we donate them. And so now it's also time to bring in the things that you do want. So sometimes when people are praying and they don't get the things that are really great for them, and they're really supposed to be having those blessings in their life, it's because they don't have the energy to bring that in, like the connection to bring that in. You know, you have to be vibrating higher in order. You have to. There's high and low vibration, and God vibrates very, very high. We have to kind of meet him in the middle, you know, like that song, Meet Me in the Middle, right? Why don't just meet me in the middle? That song, like he's like singing that to you in the middle, right? He's like singing, baby. I'm just kidding. So he's like, hey, meet me in the middle. So you got to meet him in the middle. So this is a great exercise to meet him in the middle and to meet that energy. And look up to the moon and look up to God and say, hey, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready. I release these 10 belief systems that have been coming on and on and on throughout my life. I'm ready to let those go. And I've asked myself these questions, and I've come to the conclusion that I do want to let them go. And I'm using basil oil, the oil of renewal, and I've burned these things and I cleared it with water, and I'm giving them to you so that you can turn them back into light energy, because it's ugly energy, it's dark energy, it's ugly, and so please take that from me. And so he can, and then he can give you the blessings that you want. So use the energy that is here for you. And if you have any crystals that are helping you out at this time or anything like that, then make sure you clean them too, because those get full of negative energy as well. And so make sure that you use everything that God's placed on this earth for you. He's placed oils on the earth for you. He's placed prayer on the earth for you. He's placed angels all over you, people that are here to help you on your journey. He's placed, of course, Jesus Christ. He came for us. And so there's so many things. And then also crystals to help you with the energy. There's energy in the crystals, and there's energy in the earth. There's energy in just being outside and being with trees and grass and the lake and all of that stuff. So use that stuff to help you. Oh, hi. How are you? Is it, I don't know your first name. I know your last name well, which is Mason, but is it Jamin? Tell me if I'm saying that right. And if I'm totally messing that up, then you can send me a little voice message and tell me how to say your name. And Stormy, I didn't say hi to you. How are you doing? So I want to congratulate you. I like to say jamming, because that's what you're doing in life. You are jamming through. You are doing such a great job. And so I just want to give a shout out real quick to him, that he has MS, and he has this whole journey that he's doing with MS, and it's so beautiful and wonderful. I did not do that when I had my MS journey, where I didn't share with people. I was really scared to do that. So it's beautiful that you are doing that, and you are sharing your journey with people, that you're healing. And I just am so proud of you. I love the book that you got, and I love Dr. Greger, and just all that work that you're doing. I'm so proud of you, and it's totally brave. I know it's hard to go against the grain and to basically tell your doctors that you're going to do something else. And I know how scary it is. It's really scary, because they're telling you one thing, and you feel so deeply in your heart God is telling you a different thing. God was telling me a totally different thing than what the doctors were telling me. Benjamin. Okay, so Jimin. All right, without the Ben, Jimin. I like that. Cool. Thank you so much for telling me that, and congratulations. And I'm so excited to see the rest of your journey. I'm so excited to see where you're going, and thank you so much for sharing all that, because people with MS need to hear it, because we are told so many different things by the doctors, and it's super scary, because you don't want to be disabled for the rest of your life. And I see people who are on your they commented and how scared they were, and just how you're being a beacon of light for them. And if I can be a beacon of light for you, to show you that I've been there and I've done it, and you can do it too. I was in bad shape, just like you. I was not doing well, and I didn't see hope, and I didn't see any of that. And really, if it wasn't for the doctors telling me to get off the medication in order to have kids, I think that I would have been in worse shape right now, because I would have continued to do what they told me to do, because I thought that other people knew more than I did. I thought there's no way I could know how to take care of myself. They must know more than me. They have degrees. They have the letters behind their names. I don't have. And here God was speaking to my heart the whole time. No, you need to eat your fruits and vegetables. Stop eating all that animal meat. Stop eating all that cheese. And it was hard for me to let it go because people had spoken. God sent angels to me many times in my life to kind of tell me that, you know, don't eat this stuff. And I would get really angry with them. Hi, James, how are you? And I would get angry with these people and I'd be like, I don't know who they think they are telling me not to eat cheese and meat. And I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. And I got sicker and sicker. So I am so happy that you were doing that. So James, we went over just using the moon energy and helping that to renew yourself. It's the spring season. Spring is about renewal. It's about resurrection. It's about bringing in the new. So you can use basil oil, which I was kind of showing people. You can use basil oil, and I literally would, you can do 3 different ways. You can use it in your hand and smell it. I think I need to do some work because it smells kind of like burnt something, which means I need some renewal work. I just did some, but I'll do it again. Anyway, you can do it on the back of your neck. You can do it on the bottom of your feet. And somebody just asked me today, like, should I? Oh, you're welcome. So somebody asked me today, do I have to always dilute? And it was such a great answer. Kelly asked that question. Thanks, Kelly, because I never really kind of addressed that. And so I'll go ahead and address it right now. Do you have to dilute oils? And the answer is yes. And I don't always dilute my oils. So as you can see on here, I didn't dilute them. The answer is yes, because you don't know if you're going to have a sensitivity to an oil. You don't know if you have candida in your body and your body's going to show you that you have sensitivities to your oil, to oils. You just don't know what's going to happen. So I would say yes, go ahead and dilute your oils just to be sure. As you get more comfortable with oils and you kind of understand your body and how your body works with oils, you may not need to use them as much. And honestly, when it's an emergent situation, I don't have fractionated coconut oil, I'm going to go ahead and use that on my kids anyway. If it's on the bottom of their feet, I'll use it undiluted. If it's, and for me, I haven't had any issues with sensitivity with any of the oils. I've been using them about almost 3 years now. Almost 3 years now, not 3 years yet, but I've been using them long enough to know how my body responds to them. So I do use them neat, and I do use them internally. And so if that helps people on their journey, I'm happy to share that information with you. So go ahead and get those 10 thoughts down that you want to release, get them on a piece of paper, walk through them, think about each one of them, and are you really ready to let them go? And if you're ready to let them go, burn it in a glass bowl, get outside, get some water on it, look up to God in the moon, and tell him that you're ready to use the moon's energy to release these thoughts. You no longer need them. They served you for the time that they were here, but they're time to go. You appreciate them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm grateful for everything that you're going the blessings, and I'm ready to receive these blessings. So go ahead and bring them in my way, right? And then let it go. And use some basil oil, bring in some of that renewal. I'm so excited to see the wonderful, great things that are going to happen to everybody. After you do this exercise, connect with me and let me know what wonderful, beautiful things are happening in your life. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me on this lovely Tuesday afternoon. Bye, you guys.